That's nice.
What's up guys, it's Rev J. I'm back out in the garage with the Hatred C-10, and before, you guys saw me getting everything measured up and cut apart on this aluminum C-channel to go ahead and start building the subfloor for the bed. We started with the front, taking the measurements, getting it all chopped up here, tacked into place, and then fully welded. I think it came out pretty good, but I will definitely say there is a ton of room for improvement on that spool gun, both in terms of getting the settings dialed in and my personal proficiency with it. Then we went ahead and moved on to the rear cover. This one was pretty much the same idea, just get the perimeter measured out, get all the tubing chopped up, tacked into place, and fully welded. Things got dialed in a little bit more on this one when I was more familiar with some of the settings, but there were a few more offset pieces and a couple extra stabilizers and stuff. Ideally though, the construction went really smooth, and we ended up with both a front and a rear panel pretty much ready to install in the truck. Now that's where things escalated just a little bit. The front panel here is going to be bolted in most of the time, so I picked out some hardware and 3 or 4 mounting locations and set holes in the bed and matched them up to the front cover. It'll just set into place and screw down using that hardware. Now for the rear, I've got the fuel cell and the battery in there, which I want to be able to access easily without a ton of tools or a bunch of work. So I decided to make a couple of light changes to my design, and I boxed in the passenger side rail. This allowed me to add a couple of tabs to the bed itself and create sort of a hinge using some threaded rod, allowing this to swing open and closed, sort of like a barn door. Then I found a couple of packages of these ball studs, which I went ahead and added to the subfloor section and the frame itself, so that way I had 2 pivot points. And using those pivot points, I added a pair of gas struts. This means that it opens and closes smoothly, and will hold itself open without the assistance of a prop rod or a locking hinge or anything like that. It was a bunch more than I planned on doing, but the function of it worked out so well that once I committed to the project, I had to go all the way with it. And you know what? I'm pretty happy I did. I also came back on both pieces and added some silicone bumpers to any wear or chafe areas. That way it doesn't rattle around and scratch the paint on the frame. And since all that fabrication is done on these, I can go ahead and pull out the sheet aluminum here, which is 080, and we're going to be using that as the skin to create the bed floor on both of these panels. Alright guys, after a ton of cutting and tacking and welding and more cutting of sheet and aligning and drilling and riveting and redoing it a few different times because of course clearances change and you need to make sure everything lines up perfect because we got some moving parts. We've got that fully done front panel that's fully removable with those thumb screws. Of course it is easier with an Allen wrench, but you can thumb screw it in. Everything comes in and out with pretty much no tools. It can be done at the side of the road if you had to in an emergency. It's pretty lightweight, all things considered. And it works pretty darn seamlessly. Now it's not perfect like any home engineered projects. There's a few little things that had to be clearanced, things you have to keep an eye on because of course this isn't a factory released product, but you know what? None of this stuff is. It's all about coming up with something fun, original, and building it yourself, which is exactly what I did. As a matter of fact, on social media in the last couple of weeks, I've actually seen a lot of guys doing some pretty cool custom bed floors. So I wanted to make sure I could put this up to show you guys what I had been working on this whole time. Now, of course, there's a matter of that sort of notch cover center section, which I've talked about but not really shown anything on. Well, we're gonna have to save that for another video because I think we've already crammed more than enough in for this one today. The hinge system works pretty well. It opens and closes pretty smoothly. And as a matter of fact, I can close the tailgate and it still operates. So it's hard not to be pretty stoked on the way things turned out. If you guys haven't watched all the other videos in the Rebuild Everything series and the Hatred Copter playlist, definitely go check those out now. I will have my social media on the screen, and remember to use the hashtag RebuildEverything on all your Instagram and Twitter posts for your projects, cars, houses, rebuilds, whatever you're doing, motorcycles. Throw that hashtag on there and I'll take a look at those posts. As always, check out all the other stuff, check out the friends of the channel. Thanks for following me to this point, guys. Thanks to everybody that follows me over on social media and has been keeping up with the projects till this point. And so as always, guys, there's a ton more on the way. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time, guys.